It's episode 128 of the Keto for Women show. You're listening to the Keto for Women show. This podcast provides the tools you need to create your own expression of a healthy ketogenic lifestyle so you can stop obsessing and start living. I'm your host and nutritionist, Shawn Miner. Now, let's get on with the show. Hey, friends, welcome back. Thanks as always for joining me on this episode of Keto for Women. Today, I have a special holiday episode for you. It may seem a little bit early, but we are very close to Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is right around the corner, especially this year. We have very little time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So if you're listening to this remotely close to when it airs in 2019, the holiday season, that's what we're up against right now. So I wanted to pop in this week right when I can as a good opportunity to chat a little bit about the holiday season and, more importantly, how to stay motivated through the holiday season, or really any time. This really works for anything, and I'm super excited to chat with you all about this. First, just two quick announcements. The first thing, the Fat Burning Female Project, the new, updated, and officially put together as the one and only Fat Burning Female Project, the do-it-yourself, self-paced version of the class, is now available and ready for you all. So while I am no longer running group classes of the Fat Burning Female Project, this new course has every single thing I have learned over the past 3 years and over 2,000 women that have gone through the course. Everything I know, everything I've learned, several hours of past live Q&A calls, all the questions I get regularly, every single thing you could ever need to know to do keto for you is all packed into this 6-week course. It's a DIY self-study, like I said, but you will feel completely 100% supported the entire way, I promise. So that is now up for grabs over at shawnminer.com/fatburning. And also, while you're over there, you can head to shawnminer.com or just click on over to the Empower Intensive coaching library, where I now have available both the Diet Ego coaching call and the self-sabotage coaching call. I think both of those could come in handy this time of year. And really, we want both of those, we want both of that coaching to be happening before we get into this turn of the year, January 2020. Now I need to go on a diet. Now I need to hit the gym. Now I need to do all this. It happens every single year. I've been a part of it because of the work that I do every single year, and it needs to stop. That mentality needs to go away, where we can just get to a point where we're being intuitive, we're working on our health, we're feeling really good all the time, so that a new year doesn't necessarily mean to change all the things, only to go back to the usual patterns by Valentine's Day, which I see every single year. So if you want to make lasting changes, let's get into that now, before we turn and then we do the self-sabotage thing, we do the diet ego thing, and then we have to kind of backtrack and back out of it. Let's take care of that now so we can have 2020 be a different kind of start to everything that we really, truly want. And I also think the conversation that we're going to have today is kind of the perfect scenario of that. And really, if we can work on this motivation piece right here, right now, before the holiday season, before the turn of the year, then it's not going to matter that it's January 2020, because you have a new type of motivation. So let's get into this. How this topic came up, actually, it was a question that I had during a coaching call, one of the Empower Intensive coaching calls. I believe it was the body image one. And I thought it was such a good topic for all of us. The question was, it was something like this: what if wanting to change my body is my motivation for doing healthy things like eating better or healthier, exercising, going to the gym, taking supplements, that kind of thing? The motivation, the motivator, is to change the body, to look differently, to lose weight, to get more fit, skinnier, whatever you want to call it. And I think a lot of us can relate to this sentiment. I know I definitely was there. Thank goodness I am no longer, but I was there to where really everything I did just revolved around how it was going to affect how I looked on the outside. That was me for the, probably 25 years of my life. So I can absolutely see this. And it is interesting because if you have that as a motivator, you are technically, quote unquote, doing the right things. You are making better choices around the food you put on your plate and what you do for your workouts, that kind of thing. So it is leading you to have healthier habits, I guess we can say. But is that really the right way around it? And, really, when I think about it, I think this sentiment is the reason why there is so much self-sabotage, why there are so many people who start on January 2, 2020 to only get derailed by February 14th, 2020, or whatever year you're in when you're listening to this. So I can see how this motivation seems so good. It seems like a really good, solid way to think, but yet is quite faulty. So I have a different idea for you all, and I really would love for you to get behind it right here, right now, so we can change some things. If this is the scenario that you're in, and I want you to dig deep and really, truly get to the bottom of if this is your scenario where you are using changing your body as a motivator, I have a request. Why don't you instead make your motivation to get out of that mindset? So let's get motivated to get out of that mindset instead of using our body as a motivator, because that mindset backfires. And this is exactly why the diet industry is as gigantic as it is. It's exactly why they continue to be able to stay in business, have a $72 billion industry. I can't remember the exact number, but it's something large industry. And this is why the weight loss industry is as big as it is, because they are preying on people whose only motivator is to change their bodies, their physical bodies, how they look on the outside. This episode of Keto for Women is sponsored by Everlywell. Getting to the bottom of any health-related question can sometimes feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle that's missing pieces. You have symptoms and want to know what's going on. So you visit doctors, you try new diets, you start exercising, getting more sleep, only to get overwhelmed by time-consuming and expensive tests. Luckily, I found Everlywell at-home lab tests, and it will be my go-to gift this holiday season to inspire better health for everyone on my list. Everlywell offers more than 30 at-home lab tests, from food sensitivity to thyroid to STD and heart health tests. Each Everlywell collection kit comes with super easy to follow instructions. Collect your sample from home on your own time. Once you send your sample back, it is processed in a certified lab, and your results are reviewed by a board-certified physician. Then they are sent directly to you digitally within just days. You can even share them with your own healthcare provider. The Everlywell digital platform helps break down exactly what your results mean for you. Plus, you can also set up a free discussion with a healthcare professional directly through the Everlywell platform. To start learning more about your health like I did, check out Everlywell at-home lab tests today. For a limited time, get 25% off any Everlywell at-home lab test at everlywell.com/keto-for-women-25 and enter code keto-for-women-25. That's everlywell.com/keto-for-women-25, code keto-for-women-25 for 25% off your test. Everlywell at-home lab test, your answers your way. All right, so now let's go a little deeper into this idea of maybe not having our body be a motivator, but instead getting motivated to change that whole mindset and starting that right here, right now. Motivation. is defined as the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. It's also defined as the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. So now we're looking at a reason, a desire, or willingness to do something. And in this case, and for many of us I know out there, that something is to get healthy, lose weight, eat better, work out, those kinds of things. So that thing that we're trying to do, the action we're trying to take, is probably to do something good for ourselves, something healthier, create a healthy habit, I guess we could say, around those things. And the reason, desire, or willingness, yeah, it certainly can be to lose a certain amount of weight or to be a different size, to be fitter, skinnier, whatever. But does that actually stick? I mean, think about it. Does that actually stick? I would argue that no, it does not stick. And I've had many years of experience. Remember, I was in the fitness industry for 11 years before I even became a nutritionist. When it comes time to enjoy the holidays, to participate in traditions, to celebrate, to hang out with friends and family, all that stuff. And this is not just around the holidays. This is life. Hanging out with friends, going to a 4th of July celebration, having Easter parties, celebrating your birthday. This is just life. But we're talking about it now because this is technically the holiday season. This does not stick because life will derail. That motivator and motivation is rocky at best. It's like created with twigs instead of giant, solid, indestructible logs. So my answer in this coaching call, let's go back to that Empower Intensive coaching where the question was raised and I thought it was awesome. My answer was simple. When you trust your body and intuition and use that to guide your actions, behaviors, and choices, you don't need motivation like this because you fully trust and understand and enjoy your life and your body with that intuitive sense. And then really motivation is almost not necessary. Doesn't that sound awesome? I think that sounds amazing. I can tell you from personal experience, it is amazing and something I very much want as many of you that are willing as possible to join me on, because then it becomes finding motivation to trust your body and listen to your intuition, knowing that it will guide you to what is best and healthiest for you at every single moment of every single day, even Christmas and Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, birthdays, Valentine's Day, Easter, 4th of July, whatever else you celebrate, or whenever there might be a time where that, made with twigs motivation factor of I want to change my body doesn't hold solid, trusting your intuition and knowing that you're motivated to do that. That is the only thing that you need. That stays really super solid regardless, all year long, even during the holidays. So now we need to figure out, okay, so if finding motivation to trust my body and listen to my intuition is what I want, so that's my something part of the motivation, what is my motivator? What is that motivation going to be? Here are some ideas. Well, I think the biggest one is to live a life of freedom, of peace, ease, clarity with everything, with all of life. And I've talked about this over the past few episodes, but especially with food. That's what we're talking about here today. Just that seems like all the motivation or the motivator that anyone would need would to be able to live this life of food freedom and having peace and ease and clarity around every single thing that you do, especially the food you put on your plate. So that is the motivator. You see the difference? That is the motivator. Instead of wanting to change my body, I want to live a life of freedom around food. That's it. If that's not enough for you, how about never having to rely on external motivators again? Never having to rely on the fact that you want to lose 10 pounds or look better in your bathing suit or have more toned arms. Nothing like that. Not having to, again, put up a foundation of twigs for your motivation factor. How about feeling confident with your choices? Wanting a sense of confidence with everything in life. That is probably one of the most desired feelings to have, is that feeling of confidence. And you can have that. That can be your motivator. Not having to follow another program made for someone else's body again. Not having to go on another diet, join Weight Watchers again, get into the next meal plan program. None of that. That could be motivation alone to learn how to listen to your body and trust your intuition. So really what I'm trying to do here, I think you all can see, is instead of telling you how to stay motivated this holiday season, I really want you to expand your horizons when it comes to where you create or how you get your motivation. Maybe instead of needing a driver or motivator to eat healthy and not make mistakes this holiday season, quote unquote, mistakes this holiday season, maybe instead we can have a driver to listen to our bodies. And instead of that driver being something faulty like weight loss, body size, etc., maybe it could be something more powerful like a free life, more trust, more peace, confidence. And then once you do that, you will never, ever have this question again. In fact, when you see this come up as the topic of a podcast episode, you'll skip it because you don't need to know how to stay motivated. Motivation isn't even really a thing on your radar because you are so fully invested in knowing that your body is capable of determining what it needs and what it doesn't need, what it wants and doesn't want, that motivation is just built in. It's just there. And that's what I want for you because that's what I know works forever. To make this a non-issue forever, to never need January to come around in order for you to start something, to always be worried every holiday season that you're going to get off track and eat 1,000 cookies. It all can and should be a non-issue. But it really does come down to finding out what motivates you and really taking the leap to change that. Thank you to Bombas for sponsoring this episode of Keto for Women. Sometimes we get way too comfortable in our old habits, but if you're still wearing the same old uncomfortable socks you got years ago, maybe it's time you upgrade to Bombas. Just the other day, I was walking around the house in my Bombas socks after my hiking session, and I said to my partner, it feels like my feet are getting a hug. That is how comfortable these Bombas socks are. I will never, ever wear anything else. They are absolutely wonderful. And did you know that socks are the #1 most requested item in homeless shelters? Bombas socks were created to change that. For every pair you buy, Bombas donates a pair to someone in need. Bombas socks are soft too, like made with the softest cotton in the world soft. They're built with extra cushioning, so whether you're walking the dog, chilling at home, or saving the world, you'll be comfortable. Bombas socks provide support in places you didn't even know you needed it, like your arches. Each sock is built with a special arch support system that's not too tight, which is exactly why I felt like my feet were getting a big hug. Ever notice that annoying toe seam most socks have? That little ridge on the top? Bombas got rid of it, so they're smooth across the top of your foot. You do a lot of different things, so Bombas made a lot of different socks. Dress socks for work, performance socks for working out, and limited edition holiday socks, which are so cute. They even have a line of merino wool socks, and they are like magic. Soft, warm, naturally moisture wicking, and never itchy or rough. These are the socks I use for hiking, and they are phenomenal. You know that person who's just a gift enigma, completely impossible to shop for? Bombas is the gift even that person will love. Everybody will. If you want to give someone a perfectly nice gift, give them a candle. If you want to be a holiday gifting ninja, give them Bombas. Go to bombas.com/keto for women and get 20% off any purchase during their big holiday sale, November 18th through December 5th. That's bombas.com, BOMBAS.com/keto for women for 20% off. Bombas.com/keto for women. Change your motivator. Change the why. Your why does not need to be to look a certain way, to lose a certain amount of weight. You don't have to have that be your motivator. Your motivator can be, and really should be, something internal, something rock solid, something that you want to feel. So change that from how do you want to look to how do you want to feel. And guess what? When you do, you're not going to start making all these super unhealthy choices, never work out again, all these things. We are afraid to let go of that external motivation because we think that means we're not going to do all of the things that we should be doing to keep us healthy. So we kind of basically use the excuse of that external motivator, those pounds we need to lose or how we want to fit into our jeans, as the driver for making healthy changes, when really that's not it, because then you still end up not making those choices anyway. So that's not it. That, again, built on twigs. Remember that. So instead, if you want to feel a certain way, if you want to feel trusting of your body, if you want to feel confident in what your intuition is telling you to do, that's a feeling that is rock solid. It will stay there and it will still lead you to the right things for you and your body and your life. And that may mean having a couple cookies on Christmas, but it doesn't mean throwing it all out the window, feeling like crap, not being able to enjoy your holiday season because you've decided you're just going to start in January. That logic doesn't work, right? That is very much built on twigs logic. So we can get rid of that forever and instead have these feeling motivators. And that will never change. You will always want to feel that way and you will always be guided to feel that way. So I know I've been spending a lot of time talking about using your intuition, reconnecting with your body, intuitive eating overall. It is very much something I believe in. It is very much something that I think women who have gone through keto are primed to do. And yes, it may still lead you to eat keto, and that's fabulous. But if it doesn't, that's okay too. But I think keto really is and can be the bridge from dieting to intuitive eating. It was for me. It is for most of the women that go through the Fat Burning Female Project. It was designed that way. We talk about intuitive eating in the Fat Burning Female Project because it's important and it is a wonderful bridge to get you there. So this could be the time. This could be the perfect time for you to really, truly embrace it this holiday season and really work to trust yourself, reconnect with your body. So go back and listen to that episode, reconnect with your body and just see what happens. And maybe don't say you're going to start on January 2nd, 2020. You're going to start going to the gym. You're going to start keto. You're going to start eating better. You're going to go back to keto. Don't say any of that. Don't give those ideas to your, that died ego self that wants to have this kind of this then that situation. Don't do that. Just be with who you are, what your intuition is guiding you to do. Just let it be. And I know my friend, probably yours too, Steph Dodier over at Going Beyond the Food, she's doing an undiet challenge, I believe, for the start of the year. So maybe it's time you could do something like that, where you are guided to this place of not starting a new diet January 1st or January 2nd, I guess. See how that goes. Maybe that would feel right for you this year. But regardless, please just take a little bit of time. This is really all I wanted to come in and say to you during this little holiday short episode. All I want you to know is to evaluate your motivations. What is your reason, desire, or willingness to do something? And maybe it's something you could journal. Go into your journal and actually write it out. What are you doing? What is that something that you want to do or you are doing, and then what is the desire, willingness, or reason behind that, and see if you can reconfigure that to be something more than your external appearance or these weight loss goals. What else can it be? Work to see if you can find a feeling as the motivator. And maybe in that journal, while you're kind of finding the truth about your motivation now and through the holiday season and all year long, maybe you could also just write down, my motivation is to trust my body and listen to my intuition, knowing that it will guide me to what is best and healthiest for myself at every single moment of every single day. Just write that down and see how that feels. I think you might, just by writing it, even if you don't believe it, feel that sense of peace, ease, calm, confidence. And then it might drive you to take the next step to work on it, to see what you can do and how that feels going into the holiday season, not needing anything else but that one motivator. All right, that will do it for this holiday short episode. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your friends and family if you're in the US, or you may have already celebrated it if you live in Canada. So I hope you had a great one. If that is you, I'll be back here next week full of turkey and probably some pumpkin pie. I'll talk to you then. Take care.